So it'll tell you. Just look it up. We gave them 29 seconds to get themselves together. Well, 29 seconds, what are you going to do? First of all, who is this? What is this? What's going on? That's 29 seconds gone, right? Is that what it says?
No, I haven't found it yet.
But that's what the point is, everything. You don't have, nobody.
Oh, yeah.
What does it say?
I'm trying to find it. Yeah, this is the, General Frank McKenzie. I'm trying to find, I saw the quote when I looked at the article on Google. I'm trying to look through the article now, see if I can just fast forward to it.
It's 29 seconds. They had 20.
They gave them 29 seconds to get out of the way of the drone strike. That's what that was.
Yeah, but okay. First of all, you got to ask, what drone are you talking? You know, they're going to be surprised. How did you let them know? In a loudspeaker? Did you hand them a note? Right? What are you talking about? And you blow up 7 children, right? The children are your allies' children. Those people that they blew up were their allies. I was watching the BBC and all of them. They said, man, they was all against it. In other words, if you listen to the French, what are they doing? You remember we talked about downhill runners a while back? We said that then about the U.S., but they picking up speed. Hey, man.
CIA waited till after to issue the warning that the missile was on its way, that there were children in the area. That the CIA sat on the information, waited till the missile was sent, already in transit, and then said, let them know that, there's children.
What, you're going to send them a text message? They driving along with 7 kids in the car or something, right? The people are insane. You got to realize, though, I was watching the world news. That's why it's all changing right in front of our eyes. Okay, we forecast this. We've been working on it all along, and we haven't been wrong. But not only do we not want to be wrong, but we want to participate. I don't care how long we talk to the people of the world, they on their own schedule, right? So it looks like maybe we have to help them until they come around, or they're just going to be, zapped up, whatever they call it. They're going to, in other words, personally, I look at my whole life as a blessing. I already know it's a blessing. Other people, they get challenged by, they become a movie star, they get a lot of money, and that challenge them. Well, I got the chance to go through that when I was in my 20s. I got as much money as I was ever going to, and I did the same thing I do now when I get hold of some money, give it away. Why? I learned that that's probably the way I am, and ain't no sense of fighting it if that's the way you are. So, and old Doc Branyan told me that. He said, you shouldn't have gave, talking about the Panther Party, because he heard I gave him, a nice batch of money. I said, this is what I came here for. And the meeting I had was to tell them we'll raise some more money for the revolution. And then I went away, and I was gone a couple of years. When I came back to Algeria, I came back with bags of money. Only thing is they was gone. That's the period when they was messing up real bad. That what I told them when I was there, you can't go down to the Rue de Douche Morad buying hashish every day. And the other thing is, man, these girls here, the ones with all that stuff. I said, that's one of our friends. He's still up here in New York. They be saying, ooh. I said, they covered up for some reason, and when I got back, the niggas was gone. Because the people are there wearing niqab, Islamic values, right? And they there to get some vagina. That's all they can do is get some vagina. Excuse me 1 second. Salam alaikum. Call me back in a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. So anyway, here we are now. We've had 1,000 experiences. We thank Allah for all of those experiences because it's prepared us for what we're dealing with now. It's a surprise to everybody else. The things that are happening, it's a surprise. Man, did you hear what the white man did? It ain't no surprise to us. There's been several things that we can relate what's going on now. Anybody ever heard of Dunkirk? Dunkirk, when they on the French coast, so they got trapped in that, and the people evacuated. They got lucky and evacuated everybody. So at that time, they took a great disaster and turned it into, something that made them feel good. But nowadays, they're not having that kind of luck. They're not doing everything that they're doing is, I don't care whether it was in Vietnam, don't care what, in the so-called Middle East, look at all the wars they had in the last couple of years. I was looking at the Euphrates and that rivers are running so low because people building all them dams in Turkey and Syria and all them places, even in Iran. But the infrastructure for Iraq was just destroyed. And that's it. Destroyed. The infrastructure in Syria, destroyed. They talk about what they did in Afghanistan. Well, you ain't rebuilt nothing. You destroyed it, the whole infrastructure of those millions of people are destroyed, and you just pack up and leave. And here, the rot is setting in all over the world. Everybody is looking at Britain. And I was watching the BBC, and they just talking about, no, it was unfair what we did there, and it's terrible. And then we just packed up and left. And the people that liked us, they just got their throat cut. So everybody they interviewed in Britain was against it. And the Americans, we just left with them. And we didn't prepare. That's what they're saying. They said we're going to leave months ago, years ago. Excuse me 1 second. Salam alaikum. I'm writing in class right now.
Oh, I didn't know it was still going. I thought it had ended already.
No. I'll call you back as soon as I finish.
Okay.
Salam alaikum. All right. So anyway, the world is set up like this right now. There's great challenges, but there's great opportunities. Uh, we're going on the side of opportunities to try to make this a better place to be. We watch what Boss Man did to his own kids. You know, if he'll burn his own kids alive and sell dope to them, and what he did to Negroes also, I don't want to forget, what he'll do to people. And it seems like he's in more of a murderous. Yeah, he really, see, when you start losing it, you really start getting, and I believe that the country called the United States of America is in a worse mood, not the people, but the government is in a worse mood than it's ever been in. Okay, that means it's going to overdo, like in this modern history, it's overdone, misstep. How could you make a mistake on everything you do? How can you not do nothing right? That's simple as time is up. That means he's not going to be thinking properly, he's not going to be trusting properly, and he's very dangerous. That's why we have to, the things that we talk about, we have to shoot for big. We'll try to get a little package together, temporary package. But if we looked at like a lot of those demonstrations, Black Lives Matter, most of them was white kids, right? They didn't have a clue about what's going on. Now, a few of the Negroes that they making them the leaders, they know what they're doing, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't know who they're working with. See, when Boss Man come to a new tattletale, he say, I'm good Boss Man. Oh boy, you're just gonna be happy as you can be. And then the dumb people are not gonna look at his record. Anybody look at Boss Man's record, they look around and they break out running. Where you going, lovely friend? Hey, shh. This guy, he don't play, right? Now, what about us? We saw what happened to him in Vietnam, his Dunkirk syndrome. This period reminds me of the period of the Tet Offensive. If anybody remember the Tet Offensive, in 1968, things just loosened up all over Vietnam. It took a few years for them to take over. They would say the Vietnamese technically lost the Tet Offensive, but they made everybody know that we're not going away. We're here to stay. So therefore, technically, the U.S. lost. We are part of a unique crew. We've been through all of this over and over again. We either know it's true or we don't believe it's true. It's up to anybody to believe what they want. My belief is this: we have a great opportunity. It's a world rescue mission. It's a world rescue. It ain't no regional, you can't rescue one region anymore, right? We're going to save California. Well, you got Colorado, you got everywhere else. And what about Florida? Right? So you can't save or rescue. This cannot be a Negro rescue movement for Negroes. Because you can't rescue Negroes anymore. Just Negroes. Everybody else is there holding on to the boat too. And the white folks is going to hold on. They'll push the Negroes off if they get it. They said, we love you Negroes. We like y'all's dances, and we like, but hey, man, hey, you know how it go. So there's more of us today. So, but all those problems that they have about race and everything, those things, except for the institutions, they're smoothing out because it's acceptable. You know, I told the people in the Masjid in the 80s, I said, no matter what happens, I will not marry a white woman. I'm not going to do that. Because at that time, all the Negroes, everybody that got 50 cents in his pocket, he went and married a white and left a poor Negro woman. In those days, the Negro women were not running toward white boys. They were still staying with Negroes. But after a while, they said, Bumpty,